Yeah, so just finished my workout. Still got the tan popping, and just kind of get that view in the background there. There's the iconic silver bullet right above my head right there. Just finished again, nice little workout, little pump. Yeah, so just really feeling peaceful, feeling grateful, feeling blessed, feeling relaxed. Just wanted to have a place to clear my mind and not worry about the comings and goings of things. Just kind of go where the wind blows me. And this has been my dream of visiting Africa for the first time. This is just the way I always envisioned it. Thank God. Oh, that you would bless me indeed and enlarge my territory, that your hand would be with me, that you would keep me from evil, that I may not be cause pain. Yeah, that's what it's all about. All right, stay blessed. Grand Rising, Grand Rising, Grand Rising. The DLA Guru is back in the building. Yes, back in the building. I've been away from these YouTube streets for about a month now. Yes, I put out the announcements, hopefully for all my subscribers. You're kind of wondering, what happened to the DLA Guru? Well, the DLA Guru took a pilgrimage to East Africa. I was over there for a little over 3 weeks, visited Zanzibar and down to Nairobi, Kenya. And basically just, one, I needed a vacation. I've been working my butt off. You guys know I show up and prove and add value bi-weekly, well, bi-monthly, I should say, twice a month, where I'm connecting with you, my subscriber base, and my brigadier generals, my illustrious brigadier generals, and my Patreon member community. Yes. So today is our scheduled live stream. I told you guys that I wasn't going to be available 2 weeks ago because I was on vacation. And everyone seemed like they were pretty cool. But guess what? I'm showing improvement today. I got an action-packed presentation for you guys today. And hopefully you have a wealth of questions for me. So when we go closed circuit on our live stream today, as far as our training for my brigadier generals and my Patreon members, I'm ready. I'm locked and loaded. I'm refreshed and ready to answer any and all of your questions related to your success with the Defense Logistics Agency, the DLA. All right. So as you guys know, today is my bi-monthly scheduled live stream. So if you are a brand new brigadier general and or Patreon member, go to the community forum tab. There's a link in the community forum tab, especially for your eyes and your mouse clicks, for you to meet me over here in StreamYard. And once I have a quorum of folks in my waiting room here in StreamYard, that's going to be my signal to go closed circuit so that we can talk anything and everything related to the DLA. Yes, today is your day. But until we get to that point, I do have an action-packed presentation for my general subscribers. And it looks like we have 3 concurrent viewers and 3 likes in the building. Yes. So as folks start to roll in, action-packed presentation. As you know, today's live stream title, it states top 10 reasons to invest in 3D printing technology. This is something that really, really is important to me. I've been putting a lot of investment, meeting vendors. I've actually been out to the DLA's headquarters and participated with one of their conferences where they were talking a little bit about 3D printing technology, also known or AKA additive manufacturing, AKA advanced manufacturing. And it's a technology that a lot of other foreign governments use and employ in building spare parts for their military. And the Department of Defense is just a little bit skittish about getting involved with it, but they understand there's a lot of power in it. And so today's presentation, we're going to talk about the top 10 reasons that I believe that you as DLA vendors should be, considering investing with or partnering with 3D printing technology companies, aka additive manufacturing, aka advanced manufacturing. All right, so strap in, grab a pad and paper. You want to strap in and take a bunch of notes, because I think that this is an emerging opportunity in the military supply or military product supply realm that is ground floor. When I say ground floor, wait till you guys see this presentation and a lot of the information that the DLA has recently released as it relates to their advancements in moving towards employing this type of technology into their supply chain. All right, fantastic. So let's go ahead and get into today's presentation. Yes, guys, listen. Africa was everything. And my plan over the next course of a couple of months, I'll be putting a little bit of tidbits and little video snippets of my experience in Africa in order to keep the channel alive and popping and keep you guys interested and connected to what the DLA guru has cooking over here in these YouTube streets. But anyway, looks like we got 4 concurrent viewers. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm glad you guys didn't forget about the old DLA guru, because I definitely didn't forget about you. But yes, we're going to be talking about the top 10 reasons why advanced manufacturing and or additive manufacturing and or 3D printing, all 3 names are synonymous, they benefit the U.S. military via the Defense Logistics Agency. All right. And we're going to be having a specific focus on how they open up opportunities for small business government contractors like you and me to be a part of the spare part manufacturing boom that is going to be pretty big, in my opinion, in the next 3 to 5 years. So positioning yourself today is the best way to take advantage of this emerging opportunity. All right, cool. So, and also for all of my members only, when you guys are connecting with me, it looks like we got 1 Brigadier General that's in the waiting room now here in StreamYard. But hey, today we're going to have a closed circuit topic. So only for my Brigadier Generals and Patreon members, we're going to be talking about working with the DLA internationally. Yes, because even though I was not on YouTube, but I was still submitting bids, working with my team back here in the States while I was traveling abroad. And there are ways that you got to be able to finagle it in order to have a team on an international scale. So if you're interested in kind of taking your laptop and going on a vacation and doing a pilgrimage yourself, and you are like, man, should I do this because I don't know how it's going to affect my business with the DLA? There are ways that you can do it. And the DLA guru definitely figured it out, because this is my first time traveling to Africa and I was working abroad supporting the Defense Logistics Agency. All right. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that today for my closed circuit training. But for those of you who may be new to me and new to my content, my name is Kiwi Hendricks. I am the U.S. government sales manager with the National Material Supply Company. We are a government contractor. We've been servicing the federal government through government contracting by way of the U.S. military, by way of the Defense Logistics Agency for the past 20 plus years. And we have won thousands of contracts. We've supported many, many national stock numbers, and we have skinned our knee and bumped our heads as far as a collective team, as well as me, enough to know what not to do in order to be successful with the Defense Logistics Agency. And I've coined the name the DLA Guru for many, many reasons. Not vain at all, because, hey, man, don't let the gray hair fool you. But I got a lot of information, a lot of knowledge to share with you. And so I want to welcome you to my YouTube channel for those of you who may be new to me. So thank you for joining me today. We're going to talk a little bit about how we add value in this space. And I talk a lot. If you've seen some of my other videos, I just kind of keep promoting the fact that in order to be fully compliant with supporting the contract, the many contract awards that I hope you guys are able to achieve, you have to be able to bag and tag all the products that you ship to the DLA correctly, in order to make sure that the DLA accepts your materials and that you don't find yourself in storage room B with a quality notification. And the best way, or the fastest way that you can get to a quality notification, is not having the right labeling on your part, on the products that you're shipping to the DLA. So we add value over here. We add value to the community. We offer pre-printed mill standard 129 unit ID labels. Yes, they are 3 inches by 2 inches. This is the smallest label that is compliant with the DLA. And these labels, if you can kind of think about, if you go to Home Depot, Lowe's, Target, anywhere you're shopping retail, you know those UPC codes that are on all those products. Well, guess what? You'll need to have a mill standard 129 unit ID label that basically tags and lets the DLA know exactly the contract that the product was purchased on. It gives you the national stock number and a whole host of information that's important to the DLA. And yes, we offer these particular labels by way of one of our partners, HECdistribution.com. Make it a little bigger for those of you in the back. But if you log on to the website, and I think in the description of this particular video, there is a link that can take you to this website here. But basically, you can log on and you can buy these pre-printed mill standard 129 unit ID labels that are fully compliant. They come on a white polypropylene adhesive labels, and they have the right type of ink that doesn't bleed whenever it gets wet, and it doesn't fade in the sun and things of that nature, in order to be fully compliant with the military's requirements of how you bag and tag, well, at least tag your products. And when you log into the website, really simple to go ahead and just input all of your information. You transcribe it straight from your contract right into these particular fields. It's so simple, guys. Just follow the steps one by one. We are getting a ton of people that are taking advantage of these particular labels, especially if you're getting those contracts where you have 100 or more items on the contract. A lot of folks are like, man, I got a bag and tag 100 items or 1,000 items or 5,000 items. Well, this is where you can come and get those labels. And guess what? They have a low introductory offer price of 15 cents per label, pre-printed. So all you do is fill all this in, add to the shopping cart, and the labels show up to a doorstep near you in order to make your DLA journey less cumbersome. All right. And that's what we do. We add value over here in these YouTube streets. All right. So that is from our friends over at hecdistribution.com. You want to go check them out. Let them know I sent you. They have right products, great price, and they help to get your goals met. All right. That's over there at hecdistribution.com. All right. So moving on to today's, the reason why you guys are here today. Top 10 reasons to invest in 3D printing technology. Reason number 1, rapid prototyping and production turnaround. All right. What this means basically is when the DLA is working with the U.S. military, there are a lot of different things that go into the engineering and making sure that, hey, we can get products quickly to the warfighter. That's the biggest benefit of 3D printing technology. So advanced and additive manufacturing allows small businesses to quickly prototype and produce components in order for the DLA's engineering support activity, that the ESA and the product specialists, in order for them to receive those goods and making sure that they test them and they fit, the form, fit, and function is perfect in order to support the warfighter, so we don't have military assets breaking down prematurely in the field. This is why 3D printing, I believe, is a great technology for the Department of Defense to employ. And guess what? They're slowly but surely beginning to understand the power of 3D printing technology. I don't know why we're behind other countries, namely like the China and Russia of the world. But hey, it's the U.S. military and they do the thing. They do it the way they do it. All right. But today, again, we're talking about positioning yourself for success and supporting them in this arena. All right. The next bullet point: significantly reduce lead times for critical military spare parts, especially those that are urgently needed by the Defense Logistics Agency. So this is the number one reason why I think you guys want to kind of, when you're diversifying, you're looking at the commercial off-the-shelf products and you're looking at the custom manufactured products, you want to kind of figure out how 3D printing can support the custom manufactured product opportunities that the DLA will have. And if you wait you got to watch this whole video, guys, because I'm going to hit you with a wham bammer. The DLA has launched an official 3D printing or advanced manufacturing / additive manufacturing website that we're going to talk about at the end of this particular video. So, hey, you guys got to strap in and just work with your boy. I'm going to try to get through this as fast as possible. I know it's Saturday morning. Everyone has errands to run. Hey, just have it playing in the background as you're doing what you're doing, because you want to get plugged into what the DLA guru is cooking today. And by all means, if you guys have any comments, feel free to drop them in the chat, because as I'm doing this live stream, I will definitely be fielding comments that you guys drop in there. I really love the engagement. Looks like we got 5 concurrent viewers and 5 likes. We got full parity. Thank you for that. And hopefully, hey, man, push this out to some other folks and get some more folks into the building today, because I got a lot to talk about today. All right. So anyway, number two. The top 10 reasons to invest in 3D printing technology: you can support obsolete or hard to find parts. Now, again, 3D printing has to go through rigorous testing to make sure that the quality of the product produced through additive manufacturing meets military standards. But this is kind of how you want to put your hat on and think about the power of this technology and how it can support the military, and just positioning yourself as a small business. You want to get out there and find other 3D printing technology vendors that are out there that are supporting the automotive and commercial industries. And you may be able to bring some military applications to those vendors that don't even know that the DLA exists. So that is the DLA is the world's best kept secret for all of my viewers out there that understand the power of this agency that spends over $50 billion a year procuring parts in support products, I should say, in support of the U.S. military. All right, so back to the topic. Back to the topic. So support for these obsolete, hard to find parts, because as you guys know, if you've been in those DLA streets and trying to find vendors that can produce those national stock numbers, and they're either out of business, or the company has been purchased by someone else, or they have just a small pool of vendors that they will even talk to, this levels the playing field for you to be able to get your hands on those technical data packages, those TDPs from C folders, and be able to say, you know what, well, you don't want to work with me. If I can't join you, then I'll beat you. And this is one way that 3D printing is going to disrupt how a lot of those companies that have a monopoly and oligopolies on doing business with the DLA. This is why I am so excited about our company positioning and partnering with 3D printing technology companies in order to support the DLA. All right, so many military platforms rely on legacy systems, meaning that these systems are no longer like the best thing, right? It's like old school stuff, it's like the Harrier, right? The Harrier jet. Remember the jet back in like the Vietnam War era that like just can like lift straight up. Now that now they have different forms of those jets, but some of those aircraft are still in operation and supporting the U.S. military. And guess what? They need parts. When they break down, they have to go through overhauls. 3D printing might be a way that we can get those types of parts produced for the Harrier, right? Just an example. And bullet point number 2, a high demand capability for DLA managed inventory gaps. As you guys know, the DLA is always trying to find ways to support these inventory gaps where you see those RFQs, or the solicitations, I should say, that are out there, and they're out there for months and months and months with no bids, the infamous no bid list. This could be a way to help bridge the gap, to have custom 3D printed parts that the DLA will approve and accept into their supply chain. All right, additive manufacturing enables reverse engineering and recreation of obsolete or no longer commercially produced parts. So this is the bullet point number 2. Just kind of let that sink in a little bit. And hey, guys, if you have any questions about what I'm talking about, I'm going kind of quick. The DLA grew. I kind of talk a little fast. Feel free to drop your comment or question in the chat, and I would definitely field your comment or question as it relates to today's topic. And if you have some things that are off topic, feel free to drop that in there, or just want to give me a little love and just welcome me back to these YouTube streets, from my experience in Africa, because I love a little engagement, and I don't have any engagement right now. So throw a little engagement in there. Let me know I'm not just talking to myself. Number 3, lower entry barriers for small business. All right. By the way, the DLA has the lowest barriers of entry as it relates to any federal agency, whether you're finding federal agencies on SAM.gov and things, and a lot of those other platforms, Unisign and all those other platforms that are out there. Working with the Defense Logistics Agency Internet Bid Board system is like the best thing since sliced bread. It's just basically getting plugged in, getting the information, getting the knowledge, knowing how to support the DLA, and supporting the warfighter by their platform. So 3D printing, again, is going to kind of connect and leverage the lower barriers to entry for small businesses, because advanced and additive manufacturing reduce the need for expensive, large-scale machining infrastructure. So back in the day, I used to work for Boeing. I'll just say I used to work for Boeing back in the day, and Boeing had facilities all over the world where there a lot of capital investment, capital equipment, where they have the lathes and the welding machines, and the 5 and the 3, 4, 5 axis machining capabilities in order to produce military components. I mean, we're talking large scale infrastructure of machining tools. And so 3D printing, it can really make it a lot more affordable for companies to get involved, because it gets rid of the need for all of those large scale machining infrastructure. So that's what's so cool about 3D printing as it relates to small businesses that want to get into the manufacturing components of it. This levels the playing field for small contractors, enabling them to bid and fulfill DLA contracts with minimum upfront capital investment. Those facilities, the company I used to work for, those facilities, we're talking in the billions of dollars that they had to, put those facilities together to produce some of the best fighter aircraft in the world. All right, that's coming from a aerospace manufacturing perspective. But if you're working with companies like BAE Systems that make tanks and Jeeps and things of that nature, it's the same thing applies. So all those military assets need parts, need spare parts in order to keep them flying high and functional. And so 3D printing works in that arena. All right, cool. So that's the biggest thing there. Hey, also, I want to just kind of throw this out there. I don't have a lot of folks engaging with me today, but if you are new to me, new to my content, I'd like you to hit that subscribe button, because if you're trying to hit me, throw me a comment and the comments are not going through, but you got to be a subscriber to the channel. So hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything. It means a ton to me, and it helps to grow my audience. And by all means, hit that like button, especially for those of you who may be watching this on the replay. Hit that like button, because it stokes the YouTube algorithm and lets YouTube know that, hey, you like what the DLA Guru is cooking. And by all means, share this particular video with friends and family members. Let them know that, hey, the DLA may just be a viable customer in order for them to position themselves and change the trajectory of their business with government contracting. And by all means, hit that notification bell, because you don't want to be a day late or a dollar short as I drop relevant content to both empower and inspire you for success with the Defense Logistics Agency. All right, now, number four reason, don't forget, at the end of this, I'm going to show you guys one of the DLA's latest websites as it relates to additive manufacturing and how you guys can get involved today in supporting the DLA with a host of national stock numbers that have been approved for additive manufacturing. Hint, hint. So just wait till the end, and I'll show you guys how you can get involved there. Top 10, again, reasons to invest in 3D printing technology. Reason number 4. On-demand, low-volume production. So I don't know if you guys have been reaching out to manufacturers and they're telling you that, hey, we're not bidding on those contracts, or those RFQs that you're sending us, because it's just not enough meat on the bone. A lot of times these manufacturers want to make sure that they're getting a minimum $50,000 contracts and things of that nature. Well, the DLA sometimes has a $5,000 contract. So there's still a need for that spare part, but how do you find a manufacturer that can facilitate that if the volume just doesn't meet their break-even point, right? So now low volume production opens up a huge aperture as it relates to 3D printing technology. All right, so the DLA frequently needs small quantities of highly specific parts, right? Feel free to fact check me in the comments, guys. If you say a DLA guru, you don't know what the hell you're talking about, or hey, you know what, you're right, I have experienced that. Throw a comment in there so we can kind of engage on that. Additive manufacturing excels at low volume custom runs. This really gets me very excited, because, man, if you got the right national stock number that's approved for additive manufacturing, you got the perfect additive manufacturing partner that you guys can work with, and you can be an authorized manufacturer's rep. Are you cooking with me a little bit? And then you can bring those opportunities to your manufacturing base in order to support the DLA. All right, looks like we got Brother Jesse in the building. He just gave us a comment. Thank you for the very first comment, Brother Jesse. I appreciate the engagement. We'll give you a round of applause. And it looks like Brother Jesse is also a member of the channel, one of our illustrious Brigadier General members. Thank you for the support, Brother Jesse. Man, I'm sure you got a ton of questions for me, man, when we get into this closed circuit live stream training. And by the way, for those of you who may be kind of new and joining us today, pinned to the comments section of this particular live stream, you can click the link that can upgrade your subscription to the illustrious Brigadier General membership level, where you will basically get eyes and ears on relevant content that's for paid members only. So it's a small investment on your part, but a wide array. I think we got about 26 or so action-packed closed circuit training videos that are just for my Brigadier General and Patreon community members. So just know there's a lot of value in supporting the channel at the Brigadier General level, as well as being able to meet us over here in StreamYard today. All you do is click that link, upgrade your subscription. You'll get the link in the community forum tab, and then you can meet Brother Jesse and I over here at StreamYard. We're going to be talking anything and everything related to the DLA, probably to about 1 o'clock, maybe a little, depending on how great the content is or the questions that I got today. But right now it's about 11:24, and I'm almost halfway through today's presentation. So hey, there's plenty of action ready for you to engage with yours truly, the DLA Guru. All right, cool. So moving on. Bullet point number 3, on-demand low-volume production is ideal for spare part fulfillment without requiring mass production. So this is just a no-brainer. Basically, 3D printing in a nutshell allows you to target those really small custom manufactured components where the DLA doesn't need a large volume of the items, and you are able to deliver timely and hopefully and within cost and within budget as well, as it relates to what the DLA is willing to spend from a yeah, marketability perspective, so that they do look at the price of things and make sure they're not going to pay $1,000 for a hammer and things of that nature. But 3D printing will definitely level the playing field in order for you guys to be very competitive and winning some of those contracts. Now, number 5, digital thread. Excuse me, digital thread and supply chain resilience. What that means is additive manufacturing often includes digital design files and real-time tracking. And so that's those technical data packages, those TDPs that we're talking about, that you will be able to download from C folders. And there's a high probability that you'll need to be EJCP/DEV, which stands for the DLA's Enhanced Validation System, certified in order to have access to these export control technical documents. Guess what? Yours truly, the DLA Guru. I have a course that will definitely help you to get EJCP DEV certified within record time. If you're interested in learning more about that and you're running into C folders and clicking those links and it's saying, hey, you don't qualify to download these drawings, talk to your boy, the DLA Guru, because I can help you guys get EJCP and DEV certified so you can have access to these digital design files for real-time tracking in order to support the DLA for those 3D printing NSNs that are growing. There's a pool that's growing of those qualified NSNs. All right. Small businesses using these techniques can integrate better with the DLA's digital procurement system, improving transparency and responsiveness. And this is all through the DLA's internet bid board system. So that's number 5 of the top 10 reasons why I think you need to be strongly considering how you can invest in 3D printing technology. And even if you are interested in getting a 3D printing yourself and getting involved in being a manufacturer yourself. Now, I can't really school you on how to get that done, but there are ways to get it done because it's a growing manufacturing base of mom and pop shops, people who are basically setting up 3D printing technology in their garages and printing spare parts in support of various customers that are out there. All right. So this is something that you just want to research and fact check it and see how you can get involved in one way or the other. Number 6, geographically distributed manufacturing. What that means is additive manufacturing. With it, small businesses can operate closer to the point of need, even near military installations. And what that really means is like trying to reduce the lead time, so like if you're getting a 3D printer that's in California, they got to ship it to you, you bag and tag it, and then you got to get it over to the DLA. Let's say New Cumberland, Pennsylvania, one of the DLA's depots. Well, imagine being able to set up shop right down the street from the DLA's depot in New Cumberland, Pennsylvania, to reduce the transit time of getting product from point A to point B. So this is one way that additive manufacturing can help you because it doesn't require that huge capital investment, that big footprint, that big facility that has all the lathes and all the moving parts and the machine tools and whatnot. Now you kind of reduce that technology down to components that fit within the scope of what that 3D printer can do. And then you align yourself with the national stock numbers that right down the street from a potential DLA depot as your end customer. All right. That's just one thing to think about. You can kind of move around a little bit more nimble with 3D printing. All right. This reduces logistical burdens and increases the military supply chain resilience during disruptions. All right. So it's all about how you can best support the warfighter. That's how you kind of think about positioning yourself for success, because wherever there's a problem and there's a need, if you're able to satisfy that need and solve that problem, that's when the dollars, the cha-ching, let me go ahead and hit you with the cha-ching. That's when that cha-ching kind of comes in there. All right. So it's all about positioning and thinking it through of a strategy of how you can best support the DLA. All right, cool. Number 7, cost efficiency for complex parts. And we were talking a little bit about that in some of the other bullet points, but additive processes can reduce material waste and consolidate complex assemblies into a single print. So whenever you're thinking about bulkheads and things of that nature, where they're taking a piece of aluminum and they're cutting out, like the architecture of a particular component for an aircraft, all that extra material that they don't need, that becomes, like spent material that they recycle, of course. And but it's a lot of hand holding and a lot of potential waste with the hydraulic fluid and the coolants and all this good stuff, man. 3D printing can definitely take all the material or all the processes of building complex parts and kind of cut the fat, right? And where you can just focus in on building the intricate, complex part at a more cost effective price point, because you don't have as much waste that goes into building these parts. All right. So lowering costs and simplifying the bill of materials for spare parts frequently requested by the DLA is another thing that you can kind of think about when it comes from cost efficiency for complex parts. All right. So that's number 7. Number eight, customization for mission critical part needs. All right. Some military applications require non-standard or customized parts. Advanced manufacturing allows tailoring of material properties and designs, offering solutions that traditional machining may not. So this is when you get into the 3, 4, 5 axis type of machines, where they can kind of get all these different complex, like pass and runs in order to create these parts. Sometimes you need monolithic parts that go into certain types of military assets. So 3D printing kind of helps you to maneuver around all of the restrictions that you may have with conventional machining techniques. And so again, I'm not a 3D printing expert. I've scratched the surface enough. My background is manufacturing. I was a manufacturing engineer for Boeing for probably 10 years, doing a lot of different things in support of some of the military aircraft programs that are out there, the Apache program. We're talking F-18 program, all that good stuff. But anyway, those are my younger days. But 3D printing, I really get excited because I kind of understand the power of how you can reduce the cost. You have the low volume runs. And as long as the U.S. military approves those parts being produced using additive manufacturing techniques, you're in there like Flynn in order to support the DLA in support of the U.S. military. Number 9, and we're getting close to the end. Don't worry. For those of you who got 7 concurrent viewers in the building, I appreciate you guys. I'm glad you waited to the end, because the next couple of slides, we're going to go into an actual website that the DLA has released recently that talks more about additive manufacturing and how you can get plugged in today. But for number 9 of the top 10 reasons, faster iteration for first article testing. A lot of folks get a little nervous about the FAT testing. They're like, oh man, there's a lot of risk. They tie your money up, and you don't really know if the DLA is going to accept it. Those engineering support activities with product specialists are going to be your friend or a foe. Well, guess what? By using 3D printing technology, advanced manufacturing enables small businesses like you and I to quickly revise, I should say, and resubmit improved prototypes after initial FAT failure. So in case your first article test fails, you go back to the drawing board with your engineering support activity and working with your manufacturer and kind of figuring out the why. And then you guys can get back on the horse, get another 3D printed prototype out and back to the DLA in order to say, hey guys, hey DLA, hey warfighter, we're here to support you guys. We want to get you what you need, when you need it, and how you need it. All right. So this leads to reduced first article test approval cycles. A lot of folks say stay away from FAT testing. I say no, don't stay away from it, because there's money to be made there. If we're in the game to make as much money as we can in supporting the U.S. military. And so sometimes you got to take on the difficult projects in order to get the golden egg. All right. So this is one way that 3D printing can assist you in support of the first article test requirements. All right. In order to make it leaner, quicker, faster, and more profitable for you as you're pursuing certain national stock numbers that may have a first article test requirement associated with it. All right. So in summary, before we get to the DLA's website that I wanted to kind of show you guys and showcase today, in summary, number 1, the reason why 3D printing emerging opportunities is paramount. It's coming. It's here, but it's just going to grow. And the DLA, it just needs companies like you and me to support it in order for it to flourish. Number one, rapid prototyping and production turnaround. It decreases the production turnaround. Two, you are able now to support obsolete and hard to find parts, because if you get your hands on the technical data packages, you can now make those products using additive manufacturing and advanced manufacturing techniques. Three, lower the barrier entry for small businesses, because you don't need the big lathes and all those welding machines and all the 5 and 3 and 4 axis machines in order to produce these components. Four, on-demand, low-volume production. So no longer do you have a minimum, hey, I got to produce 500 of these in order for it to make sense to even turn the machine on. Now you can produce 2 or 3 of them, and it's the same exact price point as it would cost you if you were producing higher volume items. Number 5, digital thread and supply chain resilience. All right, so that's getting into making sure you're getting your hands on the technical data packages and making sure that you can produce those products efficiently and the quality is there. Number 6, geographically distributed manufacturing, meaning that you can set up a shop near an Army base or Army depot, or a DLA, a military base, a military depot, or a DLA depot, in order to get the products to market faster, so that you can reduce the logistics of shipping the products to and fro. Number 7, cost efficiency for complex parts. Haste makes waste, right? But in this case, haste doesn't make waste, because the 3D printing only uses the material that it requires in order to make those complex parts, the different architecture of those parts. It just uses exactly the material it needs in order to produce those parts. Number 8, customization for mission critical needs. All right, so customization for mission critical needs. Once the DLA lets you know, guys, what they need, and now you're able to kind of work with your team and position your offer to the DLA of price and availability. And hey, guess what? Hopefully you'll get the award in order to support the warfighter. And number 9, faster iteration for first article testing. So it helps with the rapid prototyping, and so that you can do a few prototypes before to get the DLA to approve it, and then you can go to your full production run after you get approved, and it just lowers the cost and the risk of you wasting your time, wasting a lot of money when it comes to 3D printing. All right, so those are the top 9 of the 10, and as I promised, the DLA Guru is always promising you guys some good value. So let's go ahead and take a look at the grand finale, why you are here today. Let me make it a little bigger for those in the back. And this is the website. And let me go ahead and drop it in the chat below, so you can kind of, go ahead and bookmark this as well. Oh, it looks like we got a comment that just came in here. Oh, all right. Didn't notice the comment. We got brother Charrington Vaughn that says, hey, Kiwi, what's the best program to purchase to talk strategy with you? I've connected with the right manufacturers this week for aerospace and general 3D and CNC printing. Charrington Vaughn, thank you for that comment. Go ahead and give you a round of applause for the comment. That is an excellent comment. That is excellent, my friend. Excellent. And I think that the best way for you to connect with me, so we can talk a little bit more about your need, I'm putting in the chat right now. Charrington Vaughn, click this link, the programs.thedlaguru.com. Click that link, Charrington, and book a 15-minute 15-minute call with me. I call it my 15-minute pre-screening phone call. I think that's probably the best way for us to kind of talk a little bit about what your opportunity is and what I believe would be the best course of action as far as training and positioning you for success and taking advantage of the opportunity that you have at your fingertips there. All right, Charrington Vaughn, thank you for the comment, and hopefully I answered your question. All right, so that's what I try to do. Make sure I'm adding all the value in the world to answer your question. Okay, so let's get back to this fantastic DLA sponsored website. The link's in the chat there below. Click that link and peruse this site. I got so excited, guys, when I ran across this, and I'm not going to belabor you on all. I mean, it's a small website, but there's a really heavy hitter that's here. But they talk about advanced manufacturing, again, everything we've been covering in today's conversation, and additive manufacturing, right? So it kind of tells you a little bit more about those technologies. There are some research and development opportunities that may be out there where you may have some opportunities to go on sam.gov, where they're looking for some services as relates to the R&D aspects of these contracts. I haven't dove into the research and development opportunities, but this is just a great site. This is the replenishment parts purchase or borrow program, the RPPOB program. So you can see how there may be some opportunities for you to get some of these obsolete parts that the DLA will loan you, like some hydraulic pumps and motors and flanges and things of this nature, where you might get your hands on those, get them to your 3D printer and reverse re-engineer those items and provide a 3D printing model or prototype, and be able to work with the engineering support activity that keeps, this is the things that keep the DLA up at night. So these are some great opportunities for you to kind of click on and see what's out there. But where I got really excited was this link here. You can see I've been here. It says, let me make it a little bigger for those of you in the back. It says instructions for searching DIBBS for DLA advanced manufacturing candidates. All right, so let me go ahead and open this link. And when I open the link up, and I recommend you guys do the same thing. This is a PDF that's downloadable from this particular website. And this PDF shows you how you can find additive manufacturing RFQs that are live in full effect on the DLA's internet bid board system. And it tells you exactly the keyword that you highlight, which is potential additive. Let me copy this and paste it in the comments there, because this is what you guys want to do. So let me go ahead and put it in the parentheses here. Potential additive. That is your keyword. Check and look at it in the chat there. And so let's go ahead and log on to the internet, the DLA's internet bid board system right now. All right. So the warfighter says, hey, man, you've been hanging out. You've been hanging out a little too long there. So let me go ahead and let me go ahead and refresh it by hitting the home screen there. Click OK. All right. So once you get here, you're going to go ahead and go to the RFQs button. The RFQ button. You click that at the very top, and notice I am not logged into my account, so anyone can do this. So you can kind of get an idea of what's going on with the DLA. And that PDF gives you instructions, and I'm just kind of showing you what the instructions are. You just type here in the query string, potential additive. All you do is that and click query. And do a drum roll, please. All right. Once you do that, you'll see that right now there are 5 records. 5 records available where the DLA has some items that they have approved for additive manufacturing techniques to be applied. All right. So we got some housing light items, and there's a national stock number associated with it. We got an air register. There's a national stock number associated with it. Number 3, they got a cable retention plate. Here's an NSN associated with it. We have a desiccant container cap. Excuse me. You have an NSN associated with that. And you have a first article test requirement. So this isn't a true NSN, but they call it an NSN here. But basically, these are the solicitations that are downloadable. You can peruse it and absorb it and see if you can have a little bit of understanding how the DLA is kind of testing the water, testing how this may work for the DLA supply chain and support the warfighter. And it looks like one of these things closed. Yeah, we got one that's closing this month, July 21st. We got one that's still open from June of last year, meaning probably no one has even bid on the doggone thing. June of this year, I take that back. June 12th of this year, it was due, and it's still open. We have one that was due January, February, March, April, May of this year, and it's still open, meaning that no one's bidding on these guys. This means that, hey, let's get down with it. All right, download these solicitations, understand and find you some 3D printers that are in a backyard near you, and see if you can start that conversation to be able to bid on these opportunities, guys. All right. Now, I'm making it more simple than what it sounds, because to me, it's just that simple. But if you need a little help and you're like, DLA Guru, this sounds so cool, but I really don't know exactly how to do this. I need a little bit more help. Can you help me, DLA Guru? Yes, of course I can help you guys. Number 10, I think the best way for you guys to get involved with 3D printing is you want to have access to networking and mentorship programs like Brother Charrington Vaughn has suggested there. Best way that you do that. And why is this not clicking? All right. Yes, you want to join our DLA Vendor Network community. And I think the best way of joining me is to link up with me over on LinkedIn. All you do is search for @the DLA Guru. Just put that into the search field over there on LinkedIn, and that's going to bring you over to my page on LinkedIn, and you request a follow. Just request to follow me. I'll take a look at your profile. I'll include you into the network, and then I'll send you a request to join our members only by invite only DLA Vendor Network over on LinkedIn. I think that's the best place for us to kind of professionally gather, to kind of start to have a conversation as it relates to today's topic, 3D printing technology, just like Charrington Vaughn has suggested in today's chat below. All right, that's a good way of you guys connecting with me. Now, if you're just interested in learning more about some of the training programs that I offer, or how I can help position you for success if you want to offer commercial off-the-shelf products and you want to get into custom manufacturing, is the DLA Vendor Network right for you? I offer a 15-minute pre-screening phone call. In the chat below, you'll see a link that I put to where you can log into our site, and you can request you can request to align your schedule with mine in order to have a 15-minute pre-screening phone call where I can learn a little bit about you, learn about where you are in your government contracting journey, and if I believe that the DLA is a viable customer for your business. All right. And again, I recommend that you join our members only DLA Vendor Network over here on YouTube and Patreon. We have our bi-monthly live streams they're scheduled. As long as I'm not in Africa, we'll be able to cam up and mic up today. It looks like we got another Patreon member that has entered the community here over here in StreamYard. And again, if you guys are late coming into today's feed, feel free to click the link that's pinned in the comment section. Meet us over here in StreamYard, because we're going to be hashing it out for probably about another hour and 15 minutes or so, where we can talk anything and everything related to DLA contracts, or if you just want to meet the community that's over there and see how people are hitting the ground and winning great contracts. I think Brother Jesse that made some comments there, this brother has won contracts in excess of $200,000 contracts with the DLA, using some of the techniques that I have basically, employed and shared with my community. And I highly recommend that you guys get involved as a member within my channel. So thank you for watching. Yes, I am back in these YouTube streets. Got a little bit of a cold, so I'm kind of coughing a little bit. Got a little bit of nasal drip running here a little bit, so I'm just kind of getting through it. I got back into the States a couple of days ago, so I'm still experiencing extreme jet lag. Yes, Nairobi is about 8 hours in the future from Dallas, where I'm hailing from today. And so, yeah, I'm basically I'm riding on fumes right now. But hey, the DLA Guru, I'm all about adding value, getting back on the saddle here in these YouTube streets, and adding value to you for your DLA journey. If you're interested in talking with me and you want to connect with me via email, on screen there, let me make it a little bigger for those of you who may be in the back. You can email me at thefed.contracting@nmsupply.com. You'll see it right there on the screen. Shoot me an email, ask any questions that you guys may have. And also, if you shoot me an email, that qualifies you to join my newsletter. I have an awesome newsletter for those of you who are part of my newsletter community, where I'm sending out nuggets about the ins and outs of what's going on with the DLA. On hopefully, I typically try to get something out, if not weekly, bi-weekly. So don't worry, I won't inundate your inbox and your emails with a lot of stuff. But if you just want to be plugged in, tuned in, tapped in with yours truly, DLA Guru, that is the best way for you guys to connect with me. So again, Hakuna Matata. That's one of the some phrases that I learned when I was over there in Nairobi. Hakuna Matata, Hakuna Matata. For those of you who have been to Kenya, you probably know exactly what that means. But I want to bid you guys a great rest of your Saturday, and for the week that's coming up. I want you guys to always know, don't give up. Keep fighting. Keep networking. Keep connecting and keep watching. Yes, keep watching until we meet again. I'll see you guys at the top.